They said she's not going to make it through the night. And after about a day or so, Dad flew her back to Dayton. He was on his way after 10 years to go into Florida. He flew her back to Dayton at Kettering Medical Hospital, and I slept in that hospital what seemed like 6 years. I think it was 2 weeks. I've never journaled anything in my life. I'm not a journaling kind of guy. Something made me journal. I was going psychotic watching my mom on those machines. We had good news. I'll spare the details. We thought we had a solution for her. My wife flew back to Texas to get our stuff, and I thought, I'm going to take care of Mom. And I remember sitting in the hospital room, and they called us into the room. Maybe you've experienced that. And they said, her vitals are going down. Remember my dad grabbed my hand. And we don't do that. It's just how it is. My dad loves me to death, and we just ain't like that. I hug my kids to death, but my dad grew up in a generation where it's awkward to shake hands almost. And my dad grabbed my hand, and I watched my sister screech out a deal and watched my mom take her last breath, and she died on January 19th. When I got to her house, my dad's house, I spent 2 weeks with him before I came back to Texas. And I went and dug up. My mom, I dug up my baptismal certificate. And as a baby, I was baptized January 19th. And I thought about that with the sacraments, the initiation to the end. I thought there's something significant to there. That's why I say it should be called the power of the mother's prayer. I wasn't just bad. Many of you were bad. I almost died multiple times in very, very bad situations, which I don't have time to go into. I have a question. It wasn't until I saw that CD at St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, when they had the kiosk with Lighthouse Catholic CDs. I just read that book, Reason to Believe. And I read it, and I heard Making Sense Out of Suffering. I sent it to my brother Mike. I said, I want you to hear this. We didn't go to Catholic school. I said, what do you think? Mike said, my older brother, he said, I think people don't know this. I said, man, I know. It took me 6 years before I ever found out the true meaning of my mom's suffering and her death. My mom was ready to die, but we weren't ready. The hardest part, as you can imagine, was flying back here to Texas, leaving my dad in that lonely home. And I thought, why do bad things happen to good people? I mean, I thought my dad's the greatest man in the world. Yeah, he was angry and all that stuff, but he just took care of business. And he did everything he was supposed to do. He sacrificed a job he didn't like. And there he is, my mom dies on the daggone road trip, massive heart attack. You know how many people came up to us at the funeral in that little small town, out of the blue, said, here, your mom gave me a letter. I was going to have an abortion. There's no way she could have known. And we would say, I know. That was Mom. So I remember hearing this CD, and it said, I rejoice in my sufferings for your sake, and in my flesh I complete what is lacking in Christ's suffering. $100 million question, of course, is what's lacking in Christ's suffering? Everybody says nothing. Well, obviously, Paul said there is something. And it's, of course, our participation.